When Brooks released the Ghost Max last year, it soon became a favourite of mine and a shoe that I really enjoyed running in. I've done over 200 miles in this shoe now. So when they announced that they were going to release a second version of the Ghost Max, the Ghost Max 2, I was eager to try it out and see whether or not a shoe that I'd really got on well with could be made even better. Before we start the review, just to say a little disclaimer, this is a shoe that was sent to me by Brooks for the purpose of doing a review. They aren't paying me for that, and they don't have any say in terms of what I say. And as always with my shoe reviews, you will get my honest thoughts, having run 80 kilometres or 50 miles in the shoe so far. And even if you've already watched some reviews of the Brooks Ghost Max 2 already, I think you're going to find something new in this review here today. And if you do, I'm only going to ask you to do two things. Firstly, click the like button, and secondly, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. The original Ghost Max was a brand new shoe, something that Brooks had never done before. With the Ghost Max 2, it's very much an updated version. They haven't gone back to the drawing board with this one, and neither did they need to. But they have made some important changes. Let's start with the upper. It's a very comfortable upper, offering plenty of padding around the ankle area and on the tongue. The tongue isn't gusseted, but it is attached to the laces, so it doesn't move around too much when you're running in the shoe. Whilst there's some ventilation holes in the upper of the Ghost Max 2, it doesn't provide as much ventilation as the original Ghost Max. And certainly out there on the hot summer days, I did notice my feet getting a little bit toasty in there. However, when we come into the cooler months, which we're now approaching, it's going to be a very nice cozy shoe to wear. Around the back of the shoe, you've got a very solid heel counter. You know, that is providing a lot of support for your heel area when you're running in the shoe. The key difference between the Ghost Max and the Ghost Max 2 is this. It's the midsole foam. In the original Ghost Max, we had the DNA Loft V2. Well, that's been replaced in this shoe with DNA Loft V3. And DNA Loft V3 is a nitrogen-infused midsole foam. It's making, in my opinion, a little bit softer than the original version. Now, the original version, I found you had to run in it for a few runs before it started to soften up. That's not the case here. Straight out of the box, on the pavements, and it felt really nice and comfortable right from the off. As it's a max cushion shoe, you would expect plenty of cushioning and plenty of midsole foam. Now let's talk about the stack height. It's got 39mm on the heel and 33mm on the forefoot, giving you a heel to toe drop of 6mm. And that is exactly the same as the original version. Looking at the outsole, and that is another area that they haven't really messed around with or changed too much. It's pretty much exactly the same as the original version from looks anyway. Now, the original version, I found that it did wear down that rubber relatively quickly. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen here. Now, we'll wait and see. There's no signs of it at the moment, but as I say, I've only done about 50 miles in it. So we'll take further note of that over time and having got more distance into the shoe. But in terms of grip is absolutely fine. I've run in some dry conditions, some wet conditions, not a problem at all. The shape of the shoe hasn't changed at all either, and because of that, it allowed me to go out there and do a like-for-like comparison, wearing the Ghost Max on one foot, the Ghost Max 2 on the other, and really sort of feeling how the shoes differed when I was running in them at the same time. And one thing that you do notice on both shoes is the sort of wide footprint that it's got. So it's got a wide toe box, but also the sort of forefoot area down to the midfoot area. It's wider than what you'd expect on some of your running shoes. And because of that, you're getting quite a lot of stability because of that wide base. Now, something I was a little bit surprised about was the weight of the shoe. because normally when you infuse nitrogen into a midsole foam, you would expect the shoe to be lighter, because the midsole foam normally with nitrogen infused in it would weigh less. And it looks like they've put the same amount of midsole foam into the Ghost Max 2 as they had in the original Ghost Max, and yet the Ghost Max 2 weighs more, in my UK size 11 at least. Now, it's about 12 grams more, and in terms of how much the Ghost Max 2 weighs in a UK size 11, well, it's 356 grams or 12.5 ounces. But to be honest, the fact that it weighs more, does that bother me? Not really, because if weight was your primary concern when buying a running shoe, then don't go out and buy a Max Cushion running shoe, because they do contain more midsole foam, and as a result of that, they are going to weigh a bit more. And in my opinion, the Ghost Max 2 is the more comfortable shoe when compared with the Ghost Max. If you wanted to go and buy the Ghost Max 2, how much is it going to set you back? Well, here in the UK, £145. Over in the US, $150. And in Europe, it's €160. So what I can say is so far I have really enjoyed running in the Ghost Max 2. I thought I would, and it hasn't disappointed me. I've been using it out there for those longer, easy pace runs. It's just soaking up the miles as I run on the pavements, and it's leaving my legs fairly fresh afterwards. I'm not getting a lot of fatigue, and I'm recovering quicker. And for me, that's all I really want in that type of running shoe. If you've already run in the Ghost Max 2, why not share your thoughts in the comments below in the video? And guys, I hope you found the video informative and found it interesting. And if you have, well, I'll see you in the next one.